Listen up, bub. With Logan coming out this Friday, the third installment in the Wolverine spin-off trilogy, it got me wondering how well has the X-Men movies done in the past. And for being such a popular franchise, they actually haven't done very well. Now, when it comes to X-Men movies, we have three different trilogies to take in. The original X-Men trilogy, the First Class trilogy, and the two Wolverine movies. Yes, two. I have to count Origins. Now, starting at the bottom of my list, the X-Men movie that made the least amount of money domestically in theaters was in fact the movie that comes before Logan, simply titled The Wolverine. Now, perhaps people were just too scared from X-Men Origins, or before that, X-Men The Last Stand, or maybe they just didn't care about a solo Wolverine flick. Either way, it only made $132.6 million in the box office. And up till now, the Wolverine franchise just hasn't done well in theaters, and we owe Hugh Jackman a better send-off with his final appearance as this character. But reviews are sounding great so far for Logan, so maybe there's still hope. Now, to even more of a surprise, one of my favorite X-Men movies is next on our list, making it second to last when it comes to bringing in a box office. X-Men First Class was a breath of fresh air, yet could not get a win here. It only brought in $146 million domestically, but it gets bonus points for showing us that Xavier was a real ladies' man in his prime. I mean, I am impressed, and I did not see that coming. And with First Class starting a new trilogy, now let's take a look at X-Men Apocalypse, the movie that ended said trilogy. Fox thought they were banking on the previous success of Days of Future Past, but they were very wrong. Apocalypse only brought in $155 million. That's $77 million less than Days, but we'll get there in a bit. Now, well, maybe they shouldn't have shown the bad guy choking a strong female in their marketing campaign. Lesson learned? And here we are, where it all began back in the year 2000. The first X-Men shook things up by showing the world that the superhero franchise was here to stay. Before this came out, we had low-budget superhero movies that were made quickly just to keep rights. Superhero movies were a joke before this gritty take on the franchise. Now this movie that started it all only brought in $157 million, but back in 2000, and it being a superhero movie, this number is fantastic. But here's the thing we really need to take away from this movie. Because of Fox taking a risk on this and trying something new, it started this popular trend of turning comics into movies. That, and taking classic outfits and turning them into black leather jumpsuits. But come on, we can't win them all. And a big surprise to us all, a lot higher on this list than expected, is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now this movie had a lot going against it, besides the fact that they just completely botched Deadpool's character, but that the movie was leaked months beforehand, and missing most of its special effects. People saw this incomplete version and thought, yeah, I don't need to see this again. And yet it still did millions of dollars more than the previously listed movies. It somehow pulled an impressive $180 million, but its real fault here was that it came out the same day as Ghost of Girlfriends Past. You just can't beat that Matthew McConaughey in a rom-com. Alright. Riding on the success of the first movie, X2 X-Men United did $214 million domestically. That, and most would say, it was the best of the first three movies. How did it all go so far downhill after this movie? I don't know. I really don't know. The second highest grossing X-Men movie of all time was Days of Future Past, and rightfully so. Never mind the fact that the main character of this X-Men movie was Mystique and that Magneto reprogrammed a bunch of Sentinels by, I don't know, putting more metal in them? But hey, Days of Future Past brought in a very impressive $233.9 million. But I'm pretty sure it's just because that Quicksilver scene was so damn cool. Suck it, Flash! Quicksilver is finally the cool one. Haha! And finally, the X-Men movie that made the most money in the box office was... Wait, what? No, that can't be right. I thought everyone hated this movie. It made the most? Alright, number one moneymaker for Fox's X-Men franchise is X-Men The Last Stand. It beat out every other X-Men movie with $234.3 million. It actually just barely kept the lead over Future Past by a mere $400,000. But to be completely honest, if you forget about all the comics and forget it's an X-Men movie, it's kind of enjoyable. Kind of. But hey, Fox is going to try yet again with their New Mutant trilogy. That's going to be a hit. Oh, And wait, before we wrap up here, we're going to end on a positive note. Here's a bonus round of the actual highest grossing X-Men movie. And that movie is Deadpool. This super hit brought in $363 million. Yes, Deadpool made over $100 million more than the highest grossing X-Men movies. So Fox, stop trying to make X-Men a thing and just focus on the merc with the mouth for a while. You know, and sell X-Men back to Marvel so that they can be a part of the Avengers. It'll be great. So there you have it, the information you weren't asking for, but now glad that you do have it. You can now break the ice with your crush with all this useless knowledge of which X-Men movie made the most money. Thanks for watching, everybody, and now if you want to see how much money all the Marvel movies made, click that box to the right, and I got another video for you on the left you might like too. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Bye! I'll see you later.